The drive into the Rockies was like slipping into another world. Towering peaks lined the horizon, their snow-capped tips glinting in the sunlight like blades of ice. The winding road cut through a landscape so wild and untamed, it made the air in my lungs feel sharper, cleaner. When I reached the trailhead, I hesitated for a moment, staring at the dense pines ahead. It was late autumn, and the chill in the air promised snow. But I had come here to get away, to find quiet, to clear my head. There was no turning back. The trail began gently, weaving through a grove of aspens. Their golden leaves fluttered like coins, catching the sunlight and scattering it across the forest floor. The wind whispered through branches, carrying the earthy scent of damp wood and moss. I couldn't help but stop every so often to drink it all in. The sound of a distant stream, the crunch of leaves under my boots, even the faint rustle of unseen animals in the underbrush. It was also alive. As the hours passed, the trail climbed steeper. The aspens gave way to ancient spruces and firs, their boughs heavy with tufts of snow. Sunlight filtered down in dappled patches, illuminating the forest floor like a natural mosaic. I followed the sound of the stream and found it at last, a ribbon of crystalline water cutting through the trees. The trail narrowed after that, winding along the edge of a ridge. The valley below was a sea of green, broken only by the silver thread of the stream I'd just left behind. The air was thinner here, colder, but it felt good, cleansing. By the time I set up camp in a small clearing, the sun was sinking behind the peaks. The sky turned from pale blue to a deep, fiery orange, and the first stars began to appear. I pitched my tent beneath a circle of towering pines, their needles forming a soft bed beneath me. It was subtle at first, a faint, metallic tang in the air that didn't belong. I sat up, listening. The forest had gone quiet. No owls, no crickets, nothing but the low hiss of the wind through the trees. And then, the howl. It was low and guttural, rising and falling in a way that made my skin crawl. It didn't sound like a wolf or any animal I'd ever heard. It echoed off the mountains, carrying through the trees like some ancient call. I should have stayed in the tent, but something drew me closer, some primal curiosity I couldn't ignore. The air grew colder as I followed the trail. The trees seemed taller here, their branches like twisted fingers reaching for the sky. My breath hung in the air, each exhale loud in the unnatural quiet. That's when I saw it. At first, I thought it was a deer. It stood among the trees, its antlers stretching high into the sky. But then it moved. It wasn't a deer. The creature was impossibly tall, its emaciated body hunched, as if it had been broken and rebuilt wrong. Its skin was stretched taut over protruding bones, gray and mottled like decaying flesh. Its antlers were tangled with moss and what looked like scraps of cloth, and its eyes, oh God, its eyes, glowed faintly, like sickly embers in the dark. Fear struck me. I was terrified to breathe. What if it heard me? It opened its mouth, and I saw rows of jagged, yellow teeth. Blood, fresh, dark, and glistening, dripped from its maw, staining the snow at its feet. And then it spoke. The voice wasn't human. It was layered, as if a dozen voices were speaking at once, all of them wrong. I didn't hesitate, I ran. The forest blurred around me, branches clawing at my face and arms as I stumbled blindly down the trail. Behind me, I heard the snapping of branches, the wet clicking sound of something moving. something fast. I don't know how I made it back to the trailhead. When I burst into the parking lot, gasping for air, my car was still there, dusted with snow. I didn't look back. Even now, safe in my apartment, I can't escape the memory. The metallic tang of its breath, the way its glowing eyes bored into me. And sometimes, late at night, I swear I hear it again, a whisper